Hello and welcome to today's Trigger 2-minute tutorial. Today I'm going to start talking to you about Step to Next, which is a function provided by Trigger which allows you to use your keyboard spacebar to fire cues in sequence. So if your production follows a linear sequence, such as a theatrical performance, then Step to Next can be a useful tool to help you reduce operator error and such like. And I'm going to build a project in standard layout. Today we're currently looking at grid layout, but standard layout lends itself quite nicely to Step to Next projects. And so we'll start a new new project now by hitting new blank project, and you'll see it's created another grid layout project for me. That's simply because my environment options are set up to produce grid style layouts, but you can change that by going to environment options. But for now we'll just modify this project and we'll go to the cue sheet layout page. We'll select standard layout style and we'll reduce the number of columns down to 3, and we're going to change the button sequence to be vertical. Then we'll go to the preferences page and we'll enable Step to Next. And while we're here, just quickly look at the options that are available here. We can choose to show a Step to Next floating button, which I'll be talking about in another tutorial. We can choose to skip Fire Next targets. We'll select skip playing buttons. And if we were running a redundant system, we can synchronize our server system with our client system. Again, I'll be covering that topic in a later tutorial. Our highlight we'll leave where it is as medium, and we'll click done to that. And you'll see now that our grid has disappeared from our cue sheet. And if we add some buttons, we'll add some sample audio buttons here. You'll see now that they've been added to my cue sheet in vertical sequence. So from the top left down to the bottom right, in that order. And we have the first cue button in our project selected. And if we hit the space bar, then that cue will play and the following cue button is highlighted. And it will continue to run through that sequence like that. Additionally, we can use the cursor buttons on the keyboard to move around our project or our cue sheet as we see fit. And if we hit the home button, it will always take us back to the first cue on that cue sheet. Okay. That's the very beginnings of Step to Next. We'll be discussing it further in the next tutorial. I hope you'll join me then.